Good morning, Houston, and welcome back to another episode of The Backyard Show here on Radio Disney AM 1590. I am your host, Angela, and I'm so excited to have you guys listening today because I have Tiffany. She is the program coordinator of City ArtWorks. Hi, Tiffany. How are you today?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. Thank you so much for being in today because January, it's a brand new month. We're getting kids excited about getting back to school and learning. And of course, we want to talk about art because I think it's such an important thing for kids to learn about. And it's such a good educational thing to do. So I'm so glad you're in today to talk about that. But first, before we get started, I have to ask you a very serious question. And that would be, what is your favorite Disney movie? Old, classic, new movies, doesn't matter.
Absolutely, hands down, Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
Absolutely.
So glad you said that. Well, mine right now definitely has to be Frozen. But right now, let's go ahead and get started. What exactly is City ArtWorks? Can you tell us a little bit about the organization?
City ArtWorks is a 501c3 nonprofit. We are an art education nonprofit organization. Our mission is such that we provide a visual arts education resource.
Okay.
So rather, we are a visual arts education resource. So we develop skills and meaningful art experiences. It's not just about educating young students about art history. It's providing learning and skill development and artistic experiences, teaching critical thinking and self-expression.
Got it. So how long has this organization been around? And is it just in Houston, or is it kind of spread out throughout Texas or around the country?
We actually are a Houston-based, Houston local organization.
Love it.
We've been around for 30 years, over 30 years.
Wow.
And we actually started... an art teacher named Janet Fox was learning that art programs 30 years ago even were getting cut from schools and cut from other programs, and she decided to help supplement these programs out of her garage.
Wow.
And she started teaching lessons and getting other art teachers in the community to teach lessons, and this was one of those grassroots garage organizations that just grew and grew as needs and interest grew and grew. And we started out just serving 300 students in 12 schools, and now we serve over 3,000 students in over 50 schools.
Wow. So you said her name was Janet Fox. Was she an art teacher herself, or was she just somebody that...
She was an art teacher. She is, Patsy Andrews is on our board, and Janet Fox was her mother.
Okay.
So this is also sort of a family-based organization.
Got it.
It's been around for a while, and everybody cares very deeply for it. And we started in Houston, and we are still totally localized to Houston.
I love that. I love that it's local to Houston. I'm sure there's other organizations like this around the country, but I'm glad that this has kind of just stayed in Houston.
Yeah, this is just us.
Good. Well, what are some of the values that City ArtWorks kind of strives to maintain, not just among children, but with families, with schools? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It's not one of the sort of mantras of art education is, for us, it's not just the product, it's also the process. And so we have artistic experiences and creative development. We also try to make our programming accessible. It's, we don't necessarily have to have students who have a minimum amount of experience or skill in drawing in order to go forward through our program. We make art accessible to everyone, kids, adults alike.
Got it. So it's not just about for the kids, right? You said it was for little kids, adults. It's for everybody.
Absolutely. We offer our classes for a wide range of students, but we also have community experiences and opportunities for families and adults to participate in as well.
So how do you guys step out there in the community to get these families involved? How exactly do y'all do that?
Our organization is structured where we offer art classes for pre-K, kindergarten, and elementary up to middle school students.
Okay.
And then we also have customizable programming for high school students, where our program is structured such that we offer classes in the schools.
During school time?
After school.
After school
Our
program.
program is after school.
Okay.
And we go into the school sites, and the students will come after school to our classes at their school.
Okay. I was going to say, do they have to go somewhere, or is it just right there at their school?
Well, we actually have a wide variety of programming. We have the majority of our program is in the school setting.
Okay.
But we also have a studio that we also offer classes after school in our studio, so that the parents have time to bring their students from school to our studio. So we offer studio classes. We offer the classes in the schools. We also have other programs where we work at the Houston Arboretum and Nature Center. We have a clinic art program at the Texas Children's Hospital.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so we have a variety of programs that we offer in a variety of sites.
So where are there many different studios, or is there just one studio where they can go to?
Well, we have one central studio.
Okay.
And we're located in the Bell Tower Plaza on Wirt Road and Westview. And our studio is based in the Spring Branch area. And our office is in the studio. It's kind of one big open artistic space.
Yes. It's kind of like here.
Yeah.
The work artistic studio space.
Absolutely. And which is nice for me, because even while I'm working, I get to kind of participate and tag in and see kind of the classes that are going on. And we're constantly getting this great feedback and being part of the art experience, even when we're just working at our desks.
So you get to go and do some art as well?
Considering that I'm the program coordinator, if I wanted just to kind of help out and play a little, do some art myself, or hang out and work with the students, we can always jump in. But our teachers will come to the studio and teach those classes, as well as the students at their schools, where our teachers go to teach them there.
So at the schools, is this something where the schools had to reach out to you guys to have the program in their school, or is this something that you go to their schools and say, hey, we can offer you guys after school art education programs?
It's a combination.
Okay.
We absolutely love it when our schools come to us and say, hey, spring's coming up. What can we do with you guys? And we have some other providers and programs that come to us and say, we'd really like City ArtWorks to be a part of this thing that we're doing. But it definitely is a combination. We also try to branch out. There are some schools and districts who go through some reorganizations, and that we, try to be a part of, because we can see a need. We often get feedback from parents saying, oh, you guys are so great. Why aren't you in my kid's school?
Yeah.
And then we reach out to the school and we say, hey, we've got parent feedback that we've got families who are interested. Would you be interested in having our program at your school?
So is this for any and all schools that can participate?
Absolutely. Anybody who, any school who would like to have us in to have our program at their site, we can customize any program. Our standard program is, we have one of two programs that most schools participate in.
Okay. What are those?
We have Art Smart, which is our pre-K kinder program. Those are for ages 3 to 5. And that's our sort of basic introduction to art skills, skill building, experience-based projects for some of our young ones. And then beyond that, we have our Art After School, which is our main program. This is the program that's been around the longest. And that is a more art history, thematic-based class where every semester we focus on a different topic or theme or artist.
Got it.
And then that class is for 1st through 5th grade.
Got it. And so when they're, for the Art Smart program, when they're so young like that, do they kind of understand the concept of what they're doing? Like, what kind of things can they create?
Oh my gosh, they sometimes the younger the artist, the greater the experience, because everything is new. We may be focusing on how to properly hold scissors, but they see things that, as we get older, doors shut to our imagination. And so you get these young imaginations that are coming up with these great shapes. And especially this is part of the process, not the product, about how when you have a drawing and to maybe an onlooker, maybe an adult is looking at this, say, it doesn't really look like much, but you ask the student, tell me about your drawing. and you'll get a whole story, and you'll get, well, this person is doing this, and this is this is where they live, and this is what they're doing, and see, this is their mom and dad, and this is their brother, and this is, everywhere they're going, and this is their best friend, blah blah blah. And so
kids love to talk, and their minds are like sponges.
Absolutely.
So I think that this program would be amazing to have in any school for these kids that are so young, because they get to express what they're, what's in their mind, because I think there's so much going in their heads that they want to just like put it on paper. They want to create like a sculpture, anything.
Oh, yeah. And especially through these skill development projects where students are using potentially materials they've never used before in their life. Most people have common access to markers and crayons, but we're using clay and ink and foam and wire and putting things together in ways that they may not have done before. And so seeing students have these artistic experiences for the first time is really wonderful, because they're completely new and open to a lot of different processes.
Yeah. And so what about like when you get into the art after school program, do you ever get kids that are kind of like, oh, I'm too cool to like make art or whatever? Do you ever get kids like that? They're not interested, but then they kind of get their hands a little bit dirty. They start creating things and they're like, oh, this is really awesome.
Well, this is one of our things about having our program be accessible, is that when you have students who, nobody's too cool for art. Art is the coolest.
I mean, that's what I think, but there's some kids that, they're too cool to, like, they want to just go outside and play video games.
Well, that's one of the things that I love about art, is that sitting down with a pen and paper is not what art is. It can be, but
Definitely.
It's not limited to such.
Exactly.
When I have students who will say, even adults that'll say, I can't draw, I'm so bad at art. I can say, if you take a stick and you make a mark in the dirt, that is a drawing.
Yeah.
You can draw.
Anything is art.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
And so when you have students who seem hesitant to the process, it usually has to do with experiences they've had in the past. So we try to open them up to those experiences. When you have students who are saying, I can't draw, or they're not feeling confident about the process, it's not just about helping students learn how to draw. It's walking students through the process and inspiring them to decide what they want to draw and how they want to get there.
Yeah.
And then you have students who are just intimidated, where they don't think they can. It's not that they've already decided. It's you have students who just get intimidated by the process. So we try to break down our processes into non-intimidating steps and approachable projects.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably think like, oh, I can't draw as good as my friend, or I can't like sculpt something, so I don't want to try it. But I always encourage kids to do whatever you feel like is inside you, to be creative. Not just, like you said, it's not just putting a pen to a paper. It's anything, really.
Absolutely. And that is part of the creative process, is widening your imagination to thinking. Art is teaching you how to think, and art is teaching your brain and using your brain in a way that creatively solves problems. How am I going to attach these two materials together? Well, maybe the sequin is too heavy for the paper, or maybe this clay piece is too heavy, so every time I attach it, it's falling off. So maybe I need to hollow it out a little bit, or maybe I need to attach it with a little more slip, or whatever the case may be. So it's teaching problem solving, and it's getting into critical thinking skills.
So why else do you think art education is so important? Do you think, some of these schools, are they lacking art education classes? Is that why you guys kind of go to these schools and have these after school programs? Is it just because they're lacking, or maybe they just want to add on to what they already have?
It's a combination. It's a combination of a lot of that. A lot of our schools are interested in our after-school programming because they've lost a type of funding, or the budget just isn't there to provide the in-house or school day art education that they would like. And so we help supplement that after school. We also act as an art class for a few different after-school programs that are like... there's a program called Children's Initiative that is in a lot of HISD schools, and they have hours of after-school program from the minute the bell rings until the last child is picked up. And so they have magic classes, and they have cooking classes and soccer classes, and they want art to be a part of that program because
that's good. So you
it's
guys
so
can kind
important.
of come in and help them with the program that they already have.
Exactly.
They give you the space and time to educate these kids.
Absolutely. So any other types of programs that want art to be a part of their program, they come to us as this great resource. We also act as sort of an after camp provider for the Houston Arboretum summer camp. So it's not after school because it's during the summer, but they have a summer camp that takes it's the whole morning. It's from 9 to 3. And then we offer art after camp from 3 to 5. So we have our same sort of after school format, but the Arboretum has their nature camp during the day, and they wanted to bring art into the day of nature. So we have an arts integrated nature program, or rather a nature integrated art program into their after camp. So we are completely customizable and flexible for any program, school, homeschool organization, birthday party, anybody who wants to integrate
You guys can
art.
do birthday parties?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's cool.
We have in our studio space, we host our classes a couple of days a week, but short of that, we have our studio space able to be rented for events and birthday parties, and so the parents and families can call, and we've had art parties, and we can set up the studio in any orientation that they want the project, or they want the tables for the project. We can do any project that the birthday child or that the family is interested in. We can do painting projects, clay projects, anything.
All kinds of projects.
Oh yeah, anything that any event that the families would like to have in our studio. We have our space rentable.
That is so awesome. You guys should definitely check that out for sure for your next birthday parties. But I wanted to ask who teaches the classes? Is it something that somebody just kind of comes and chaperones the kids, do whatever they want? Or is there an art teacher that comes in and says, hey, guys, today, like you said at the Arboretum, today you guys, we're learning about nature and all that stuff. So, hey, let's sculpt a tree out of, clay. So is that something you guys bring in art teachers to do?
That's what we do. That's actually part of my job is designing the curriculum and designing the lessons that these teachers will be going into the schools to teach. So we contract art teachers and artists and teachers and anyone who has sort of the interest and qualifications to come and teach with us. They interview with our program director. We see what's a good fit for them. Some teachers are really strong with the really young ones. Some teachers are really strong in a certain material like clay, and then we'll find a placement for them and a program that would be strong for them to teach, and we'll come up with curriculum for that program, and then the teacher will take all the materials and all of the lessons and then go into those facilities and sites to go teach that program.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Hey, Houston, if you are just joining us this morning, my name is Angela, and today I have Tiffany. She is the program coordinator from City ArtWorks. It's a wonderful organization that teaches all about art education, and getting it in programs at school. So thank you, Tiffany, so much for being here today. I have learned a lot about this organization and about art education as well, so I'm really glad you're here today. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
So right now, I kind of wanted to ask, these programs that you go into at schools and have in the studios, is it affordable for families?
Absolutely. We have a wide range of programs and tuitions. We are competitively priced for other kind of after school and art programs in our community. We do have scholarship opportunities based on financial need.
Oh, that's nice.
So we do have programs that are affordable for all types of families in Houston.
So can parents also get involved with the kids? I know you said that art education is good for not only kids, but adults as well, but can they get involved in these art classes and programs? Absolutely.
We are present in the community. Some of our community members may have seen us at different festivals. We participate in a variety of festivals around the city. We We do the art car kids
Oh, I
activity.
love the art car parade.
Yeah, and we also participate in Bayou City Art Festival in the Creative Zone.
Got it.
For those families who've been to Bayou City, they have the Creative Zone art tent, and we are one of the representative organizations that has an art activity. So we do have opportunities for families to come and participate. We also have free family workshops on some of the weekends periodically throughout the year. Just this past winter, we had free family card making workshops where families could come with their kids and make holiday cards, and
those are nice.
We practiced creating series and multiples, and so we were doing some printmaking projects, and so families would come and make 10 cards and take their favorite 3, and then the remaining cards were all donated to Volunteer Houston and were distributed during the holidays to senior homes.
Love that. We actually had Volunteer Houston in not too long ago to talk about their organization. So I'm so glad you guys work together.
Absolutely, yeah. So we do have these workshops. In the past year, we had workshops where the families were creating these, we called them our crazy creatures, and they were using recycled objects and repurposed material to create these paper mache assemblage style creatures that ended up as centerpieces for our annual fundraiser luncheon.
Cool.
That were all created by members of the community.
That is awesome. So do the kids actually, they can take these projects home with them after they create it?
Absolutely. We do have some opportunities for exhibition. Some of the schools will ask our program to say, hey, we see that you guys are doing a lot of great stuff. Can we put some of this stuff up in our schools? Some of the schools will have a display, but by and large, our students are so excited to take their work home that they will take their work home on the day that it is created.
Cool. So what kind of projects are kind of the favorites that you guys do? Do you guys do some that are repeated because their kids are like, oh, can we do that again? Or they're just like the favorite projects that you guys do?
We try to revamp and take any project that seems to be a really meaningful process. Just because we did it once, I mean, students come in and out of our program from, moving or growing through ArtSmart and coming into Art After School.
Yes.
We do have students, siblings who hear what their older kids or the older siblings do that will come in and say, I wanted to do this. But because our curriculum is structured as such that we have each semester is a different theme, we'll focus on different things, and so we'll always have new experiences, but we always do try to incorporate really meaningful projects. So for instance, last semester we studied entirely women artists. We were celebrating women artists from all walks of history and culture and geography, and we had a ceramic project where we did a clay project that celebrated one of our female artists that we were studying that semester. And so just because we did clay in the fall doesn't mean we're going to skip it in the spring. So we are still doing a ceramic project in the spring that is coming from our spring theme, which is a global art adventure. So we're not just focusing on a specific type of artist, we're actually focusing on a lot of different types of artists from all over the world. We are in 9 weeks. We're going to be visiting every continent and multiple countries through every continent. And but that doesn't mean that we're not going to do clay. We always try to introduce at least a clay lesson every semester because that is one of the great experiences that we can offer. We have a kiln in our studio.
What is that?
A kiln is a special oven used to make clay.
Oh, okay.
Or not make clay, but used to create ceramic
projects.
Projects.
Got it.
So when you make something out of clay, it just feels mushy and like mud, and then eventually
you put it in there to harden it.
Yes. So eventually the clay will dry, and the air or the moisture will escape into the air, and it will dry, but it will be breakable and brittle. But you have to put it into an extremely hot oven called a kiln for a period of time that will harden it. Is a process called firing that will fire the clay, and then at a later time, we then have our teachers bring the clay projects back to the students so that they can take their sculptures home.
Cool. I'm going to have to go and make something.
You absolutely
I'm going to go to one of the studios.
You could have a party at our studio if you were interested.
Take my Radio Disney Road crew out there with me and we can have a party. Okay, well, this is awesome. Is there a way, because I know a lot of our listeners, they love to volunteer and help out in the local community, is there a way for them to get involved with you guys and help out?
Absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers to help us out at festivals and events. We also have studio volunteers that people can come into our studio and help us out with administrative kind of stuff, where the volunteers can come in and maybe get some on-the-job experience.
Got it.
We also have program needs, where periodically throughout the year we sort of rally for volunteers to come and help us out for preparing for our fall program, preparing for the spring program. We actually have our supply rally week coming up.
When is that?
That is January 13th. The week of January 13th is our supply rally week, where we are welcoming volunteers in the community to come and help us pack up boxes and supplies for all the materials for all the teachers coming in for their fall program, our spring program. We also have any festival that comes along. We always are looking for shifts to fill and help. We had at the Bayou City Arts Festival, for instance, we have an art project that we'll bring, and we'll have an activity that we're doing. And then, of course, when we have lots of members of the community all coming at once, what are we doing? What can I do? And then we have a lot of people who are looking for instruction. So we'll have volunteers come and we'll train them on what we're doing today, and here's how we're making this, and here are the steps. Okay.
Yeah,
and then become then ambassadors for the art project.
So they don't have to necessarily be art teachers.
No, absolutely.
They can be anybody.
Anybody who has the need, passion, or interest to come in and participate in a great organization. We will always have things that we would love the community to participate in.
So you said you guys go to these festivals and all these events. Are there any events coming up right now that you want to tell us about and tell Houston about?
Well, our spring program is our major event that's coming up. We are starting in our studio February 10th. Our program starts in the schools February 3rd.
Okay.
Most of our programs start February 3rd. It's different per school. But our spring program is a global art adventure.
Cool.
And we are visiting different countries and continents, doing different art projects, studying different artists and folk art and traditional art and different art making techniques and styles that have been created in these countries that will round out an experience and take us through a journey through art across the globe.
Awesome. So you're making something and you're learning at the same time.
Absolutely.
Love it. So is there anything else that you'd like to inform the Houston community about City ArtWorks?
We have our spring break camp that we offer that's coming up. So the week of spring break, March 17th, is going to be our spring break camp. So if students are out of school and looking for something to do for the week, they can come to our studio, and more information about that is on our website. We also offer summer camps at our studio, as well as at different schools and partnerships throughout the community. So as I mentioned, the Houston Arboretum, we have different schools that have summer camps that invite us to participate in their camp. We also have our summer camp that's at our studio space that takes place for the 10 weeks of the summer. But we do encourage students, if they're interested, to get involved right away. We definitely have our spring program where registration is currently open on our website.
And what is the website?
Our website is cityartworks.org. And you can go to our Art After School page and go to register now and find out where our program is being offered and look up all the different schools it's being offered. And if our program is not being offered at the school you're looking for, you can come and take classes at our studio or give us a call at our studio and find out how we can get involved in your school.
Awesome. Well, Tiffany, thank you so much for coming in. We definitely learned a lot. I know Houston definitely did. We really appreciate you coming in to teach us about City ArtWorks. We are so excited. We can't wait to have you guys back again to tell us about the summer programs. Maybe we'll have you guys back to talk about the summer camp.
Absolutely. We would love to come back. Definitely. Our mailing list is the best way to keep Houston informed as to our upcoming events and different calendar, different things that are coming up on our calendar. So you can email Amanda at cityartworks.org to get on our mailing list. You can also find City Artworks on Facebook. You can find City Artworks at City Artworks on Twitter, as well as contact our office via phone. Our phone number is 713-681-1331. And we also have a YouTube channel where we also have
Oh, you do?
We do. We have a couple.
You guys are everywhere. I love it.
Absolutely. We have a couple of videos that explain a little bit about our organization and what we do, so you can find us at City Artworks on YouTube as well.
Love it. Okay, Houston. Well, that is all the time we have this morning. I hope you have a great Sunday. Make sure to check out cityartworks.org to find out all the information we just talked about today. And have a great rest of your weekend. We'll catch you next time on The Backyard Show. Bye, Houston.